Hey, finally, we are back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another workshop session here at SwiftXR. We're so happy to have you. My name's Oluwatosin. I lead community here at SwiftXR, and I'm happy to bring to you today's session. Should be fun, should be exciting. Let me know where you're joining us from in the chat. We would like to know where you're joining us from, people. And for today, we would be checking out something very interesting. We would be checking out a new platform on which you can use SwiftXR as well. And for those of you who are new to SwiftXR, we would be doing quick introductions, getting you on the platform, and all of that. So if you're looking to embed 3D, AR, or VR content on your website, this workshop session is for you, right? So we'll get into the nitty gritties in a bit. So once again, if you are very new to the platform, head over to swiftxr.io, create an account, and let's get started with the workshop. It should be fun today. Should be fun today. All right then. Yes. So, guys, first things first. Let's do a quick introduction to what exactly SwiftXR is, right? So, what exactly is SwiftXR? So, um, first things first, we're going to take a look at a few things, right? Our agenda for today. So we'll take a look at what SwiftXR itself is, and then from there we would go into the use cases for SwiftXR, and then we'll get into a live demo. But please, in the chats, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, right? All right then. Let's get into business. So first things first, what exactly is SwiftXR? SwiftXR is basically a no-code web platform where you can create 3D AR VR experiences on the web. And the idea behind the platform is to provide a quick way to embed 3D AR, which is augmented reality, or VR, which is virtual reality content on your website, thus leading to engagement on your website and then client or user retention as well, because it's been proven that having 3D or interactive experiences on your website keeps people coming back and it keeps people on your website as well because it's engaging and it's interactive. Right. So moving on from this, what's our core focus at SwiftXR? Right. Our core focus is the non-technical users. So if you're not a developer, SwiftXR makes life easy for you to showcase 3D content in AR or VR on your website. The ease of use as well is a major focus for us at SwiftXR. So, say you're a 3D artist or even a developer looking for a quick 3D model that you just want to showcase on a website, or say you're a 3D artist that you want to share a 3D model with a client and you don't want to share the actual raw file, right? With SwiftXR, you can easily achieve this. Or say you sell products online, right? Say you sell physical products online and you want people to see what it looks like within the space before the purchase. SwiftXR is your go-to. All right then. So let's talk about SwiftXR across the web. At the moment, there's so many places where you can make use of SwiftXR on the web. So say you're building a website on Bubble, WordPress, Wix, Shopify. You can use SwiftXR to embed 3D content that can be viewed in AR or VR on these platforms, right? So say you're selling products, digital products or physical products rather on Shopify. We have a Shopify plugin that allows you to embed 3D content for each of your products, which is very interesting, I must say. And then say you create 2D designs as well. With our Figma and Canva plugin, you can easily generate um, snapshots of your 3D model and then use that within your design as well. And we're going to be taking we're taking a couple of looks at some of these things as we go on today. Right. So there's still a whole lot more. So we do have a Sketchfab integration as well. This is for our 3D artists, where you can check out all the 3D models available on Sketchfab directly from the SwiftXR editor, which we will be touching on in a bit. right? So say you create NFTs if you're into arts, right? And you have NFTs, you can easily connect that on SwiftXR and get things going. So people can see their NFTs in AR and see it like on their walls within the space as well. And if you are into creating animated characters, right? Using the Ready Player Me plugin available within SwiftXR, you can also achieve this. So yes, guys, there's loads of things you can do on SwiftXR, but I would not want to bombard you. Right here are a few more websites where you can embed 3D content using SwiftXR that can be viewed in augmented reality and virtual reality. So we have Ucraft formats, Squarespace, and a whole lot more because today, guys, we are going to be looking at a new website where you can embed 3D or AR VR content as well using SwiftXR. So that's what we're going to be looking at today, right? And there's still so much more you can do. There's still so much more you can do. For example, you can check out like your project analytics, see what projects are doing well, see what projects aren't doing well, see where your projects are being viewed from, share QR codes. So, say for example, you want to blend in a bit of digital and physical marketing, right? You could have flyers that have your QR codes printed on them in public places or say for an event. And then when people scan this, they could actually see models or 3D objects in augmented reality, right? This is very good. We've seen a lot of artists, right, use this to showcase their works at exhibitions. So they have an actual image of their artwork with a little QR code where when people scan it, they can then use those QR codes to view the artwork coming to life, right? So there's so many things like that, and that's possible with the platform. And if you use your VR headsets, right? You can, like the Meta Quest headset, you can share your projects directly to the Quest headset and view them. And this is specifically for virtual reality experiences mostly, right? It's very useful for virtual experiences like that. All right, all right then. So moving on from this, there's still a couple more features, quite a lot of them. But if you want to know more about this, we have quite a lot of videos that touch on a lot of these features. But without further ado, we would get into some of the use cases for SwiftXR that we've seen people use, right? So there is the real estate, people checking out um, environments, apartments before they even purchase in AR, or people using it to see buildings that are not yet constructed, just to see how it would look like in the real world, and then they can make adjustments to it. All this can be done with SwiftXR. So you're showcasing your artwork, just like I mentioned earlier as well. You can use SwiftXR for that. And say you're selling physical products online as well. You can use the SwiftXR plugin on various platforms to showcase your products. Right. So moving on from this, the platform we're going to be checking out today is called Breezy. Right. So Breezy is a no-code website that allows you create your website easily. Right. So we're going to be working with Breezy today to create a simple website that showcases physical products that users can buy. And also, they can view it in augmented reality before they purchase. Right. So, to get started, first things first, what we need to do is set up a website, right? All right, then. So, first things first, we'll set up a website and then we'll move from there. So, to set up our website, one thing we need to do is go over to breezy.io. Links in the chat. We just dropped the link in the we just dropped the link in the chats for those of you who want to check it out. And then moving on from that, let's just log in. If you don't have an account on Breezy, um, please feel free to sign up. And I would just be logging in since we do have an account. And we're currently on a free trial. You might want to set up a free trial for yourself as well. And then we're going to create a new project, a fresh project. And this time around, let's just call it a website landing page for our project. And then we'll start with a template just to um, get us running so we don't have to go through setting everything up from scratch. We don't have so much time today. So let's see. So what we want to create is a furniture website where you can see different furnitures and then select which one you want, view them in your space, right? So moving on, let's see if we can get something that works. So let's say business. Let's see if we can get something that works for us. Let's see. We will look for a template that is close to what we're trying to get. When I see what I like, I'll definitely know. Okay, so we can go with this one, right? This one that has like a bit of furniture within the landing page itself. So we can just start with this on Breezy itself and wait for that template to load up. Let's wait for that template to load up. All right, then now that our template's loaded up, next thing we then want to do is okay, say we have chairs, right? We can easily preview this web page already and see what that web page looks like if it were live, right? So let's wait for that to load. Okay, so if this were to be our web page, this is what it would look like at the moment. This looks very, very good, honestly, to start with. But it's not as engaging as I want it to be. It feels too flat, right? So what we're then going to do is bring in the option to add a bit more interaction to it, a bit more interaction, right? So to get things going, we're going to get our 3D model of, say, chair, for example. We'll change this chair here into something of our peaking, right? So now that we have our mini website in a couple of seconds, which is quite interesting, the next thing we then want to do is head back to SwiftXR, right? And this time around, we're going to set up a new project. So to set up a new project here, let's sign in. If you don't have an account, go over to swiftxr.io and create a new account. All right, then. So once you've created a new account, let's just do this and let's just sign into our account here. And then what we want to do is create a new project, right? And with our new project here, let's just call this a Breezy project. Okay, and let's hit create. So when you get into the SwiftXR editor, there's quite a few things you need to note. On the left side here, we have the different tabs. The first is the components. The components are the different parts or different elements that you can add into your project itself. And this big white space here is a massive canvas where you get to see your 3D elements, every other thing you had into your project. And on the far right here is where you see the properties of each element within your project. Okay, so to kick things off, let's head over to 3D and select augmented reality here. So just click on that and that should give you this pop-up. So where do you want to get your 3D object from? So to get your 3D object, you can either upload a custom 3D object if you have one. If you don't have one, that's completely fine. You can search our SwiftXR asset store or using our Sketchfab integration as well. You can't find a 3D model. Or say you have a particular picture of your 3D model, you can upload it here as well. And our AI tool generates a 3D model based on the image you've shared. That does take a little longer. It just takes a few minutes to generate that for you. Or if you have a 3D model in mind, right, you can request for a 3D model based on, say, just sketches. Doesn't have to be an actual picture. It could just be sketches, it could be images of something you've seen online, right? And then with that, we have a team, a lovely team of dedicated 3 artists who are willing to offer their services for you, right? So please feel free to try any of these options that suits your needs. Also, finally, we currently have a feature in beta that allows you scan a 3D model using a wide variety of applications available to you to scan objects in your physical world and convert them into 3D objects that you can use on the platform as well. Right. So moving on from this, we will just search our store here, and I would be using the Swift XR store, and I would use this simple chair here, and then let's just download that. And now we have a very simple, very simple chair here. And with this, we can already get started. So to preview this, you can go to the top right corner of your screen and hit the preview project button. And this is what it would look like when you load up your project, right? So you can take a look at it on mobile as well. All that should be fine. And all you want to do is hit the publish button. So let's hit the publish button here and hit publish. Beautiful. Our project's available now for us to view. So if you were to scan this QR code here, it should lead you to a page that allows you to see that chair and you can view it in augmented reality. If you're in the chat and you scan this QR code like right now, let us know. Let us know if you're able to view that particular 3D object within your environment in augmented reality. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chats. Really looking forward to the feedback in the chats. Okay, so moving forward, let's just give everyone a few seconds to try that out. So moving forward, let's give everyone a few seconds to try that out. And moving on, you can also download the QR code if you want to use it in your, physical copies of marketing material or something. You can always download that, or you just want to share them digitally as well. Right, so let's close this, and then we can easily just open up that project, and you can get a link to that particular project itself easily that you can share. Right, so if I were to copy this and put it in the chats, right, and you all go to that website, you should be able to see that 3D model within your space as well. It takes you to the same link you opened when you scanned the QR code, right? So there goes that. But what we are really interested in for today's session, because we are embedding it on a website, what we are really interested in is the embed project option. So what you want to do here is select embed project, and this loads up your project itself and gives you quite a couple of options. There's quite a couple of options here that you can choose from depending on the web platform you're building for. But most web platforms would support HTML embed codes. So all you have to do is ensure you're on HTML embed code here and select copy. And once you do that, let's head over to Breezy and embed this onto our Breezy website. So to get things going, let's head back to our project here. And now what we can do is we can add in a new block. So say this first one here shows a picture of the chair. Maybe as we scroll down, the next one here shows um, a 3D model of the chair. Or you can do it vice versa. Maybe we start with this being not a picture, but a 3D model of the actual chair. So to do that, I can delete that image here and hit the plus button. And when we do hit the plus button, what you want to look for under add elements here is the embed option. So once you see the embed option, all you have to do is drag that in to this column here. And once you have that dragged in, ensure the settings for the width set to 100%. And for the height, you can leave that at auto. And all you have to do is go over to this first option here, select embed, and then just paste in that embed code you copied. And once you do that, your chair should pop up here. Voila, easy, right? So once you do this, just hit update on your website so you can see it. And once that's updated, I think if we should refresh our preview page here now, we should see our 3D model. So first steps, we've been able to embed a 3D object on our website. Let's clap for ourselves, people. Okay, so moving on from this, there's still a whole lot more you can do with the Swift XR platform to increase the level of um, interactivity with this experience itself. So first things first, it looks a bit ugly at the moment, I won't lie, just because we have this background here that kind of messes things up a bit, just a bit, right? So we can make some, custom changes to this on the SwiftXR platform. So first things first, let's head back to SwiftXR. And now what we want to do is we want to take out that background from the frame itself so it looks more natural on the platform itself. So to do that, select, go over to your layers tab. So the layers tab shows you a list of all the elements within your project, all grouped together using a parent-child um, relationship, right? So the model viewer here shows the AR component. So if you open that up, you can see you have the AR button here, element, the image here as well, and then the license here. So for models you've used um, that are custom to the platform. So say for example, a SwiftXR model or a model from Sketchfab, you have to attribute that model unless it's your own model. This is for copyright purposes, right? So if it were to be your model, you can easily just remove this. You don't need to show this. So you can just hide that or delete it completely. That's totally up to you, right? And then for the logo here as well, you can put in your own logo here. It doesn't have to be a SwiftXR logo. So you can turn this off as well, right? Ensure you leave the view in your space because you do need a button that allows people to actually view it within their space. Right. So now that we have that, next thing we then want to do is select our model viewer itself, then go over to the right side. So in here, we have the design tab and the properties tab. What we want to make changes to right now would be under the design tab, and that is the background for that model viewer component. So to do this, go over to background here. Under color, all you want to do is select the color here and turn down the alpha to 0, right? Which completely erases the um, opaque value for the background itself. So it becomes transparent completely, right? And then the next thing we want to do is go over to the body as well and repeat that same thing, right? So reduce this as well. You can see that is what changes the color here for the entire body itself. So what you want to do is reduce that completely to 0 as well. So once you do this, just hit publish and let's update our website. Once our website is updated and we head back to our website here and refresh this, let's wait for that to refresh. Now this looks a bit more interesting, I must say. So if we refresh the website here as well, should be the same thing, yes. So now this looks a bit more interesting and interactive actually, right? This looks a bit more interactive as compared to what we had before. And you can see how if you just go onto this website and you see that chair just moving, it feels more interactive. It feels more fun, right? You just see the chair moving around there. It looks visually appealing as well, I must say, right? And then you have this little button here to just view in your space. And then if you scan this QR code, it's basically the same thing as well, right? It shows you a link to the chair on your mobile or on your mobile mostly, so you can view it in your space. right? So that gives you a whole lot more, source, if we can call it that, to your website, right? So you can see how flat this one is, the second one here, and you can see how engaging this one looks already, just with that 3D model, right? So moving on from this, there's still a whole lot more that we can do, right? The next thing we can do here is add in a bit of variety, right? We can add in a bit of variety here. First things first, we can add in customization options for our chair, right? So if we go over to the SwiftXR editor once again, we can then select the model viewer component within the layers and then go over to properties. And under properties here, we can have, let's go over to our customization options, right? And enable customization. So when you enable customization, what SwiftXR does is it gives you a list of all the materials associated with that 3D model. So materials here just refer to the different properties for different parts of your 3D objects. How the appearance, it's what defines the appearance of your 3D object. So here we have the chair cover and we have the wood. So I want to assume and I want to believe the chair cover talks about the body. And we have this label option here that allows you change the naming, right? The naming for that particular part of the object. So we can call this chair, or yeah, we can call this chair body, right? And you can see here it shows up as the chair body. And what you want to do is add in a variant, right? So with our variant here, there are a few things you can do. You can change the color. For example, you can make this red, right? We can make this red. And then we can add in a new variant as well. And this time around, instead of us making our variant red or changing just the color, we can change the texture. So the texture defines um, how the surface of that material itself would look like, right? So at the moment, it looks like this, right? What we can do is, if I were to download, just a moment, let me just grab this here. And if I were to download, say, a patterned texture, and pattern texture coming through in three, two, one. Just a moment. I think I spoke too soon, but just a moment. Coming. Okay. Okay, I've gotten something. Just a moment. A momento. Beautiful. Okay. Right. So what we can then do is we can go over to add base texture. And as you can see, this is under variant 2 at the moment. We can upload a base texture here, and I can do that using this texture. So if I do this, you can see how that changes the texture assigned to our chair, right? Which looks pretty cool. So if we preview this at the moment, we have this red chair for the chair body, and then we have this, right? So you can kind of see this for your chair body, and maybe we can add in one more, but this time around we add in another color. Maybe we leave the default color as the third option. Ideally, it's good practice to use the default color here as the very first variant option, because that's what shows up as default. So if you just set this to white here, this should make this your default color. Reason being that this is the default color of the chair itself. So when you're adding a color, you're it's additive, right? You're adding it onto the base color itself. The only time when you're changing everything completely is when you add in a texture, right? That is when you're changing things completely, like this, right? So if I were to add in a red here, for example, you see how that red is additive. It adds on to the existing texture in there. So that's something to note, right? So let's set this back, and then okay. And then one other thing to note about your texture is tiling, right? So tiling increases the repetition of the texture itself. So if we set this to 2, you can see not 12, 2. You can see how it looks much more you can see way more things. It doesn't look too zoomed. If you switch this to say 10, you can see what it looks like. It looks like small pattern textures, right? So this just multiplies the number of times that particular image is applied around the mesh, right? So look at what fits for what you're looking for and just stick with it, right? I think I would go for the tiling set 2.5. Looks decent to me, right? And then for our final variant, right, we can then just make this the default color, or make the first one the default color already. Then we can make this say maybe red. I don't know, red's one of my favorite colors, right? And then we have 3 variants for the chair body, and then we can switch the material property here. So we can say wood. So for the wood, we can say chair legs, right? And once again, the first variant would be the default one, so we don't make too many changes to that. And for the next, we can have, instead of us having colors here, I don't think colors would do justice to what exactly we want, right? So what we can do here is we can find another texture to apply to this. So I will try to get, say for example, um, say a silver texture. Let me see if we can get something decent. I'm not promising, but let's see if we can get something decent. Okay, I think I might have found something. Okay, so we have an image here of a shiny metal plate, and then we can upload that as a texture, right? Doesn't look the best, but maybe we can increase the tiling to 10 and see what that's like. It's not bad. It doesn't look visually appealing though, but it's not bad, right? 15 seems a bit too much. Let me try a 6. I must say it's not that bad, you know. It's not that bad. But yeah, this is where you can then make like slight changes to this, so you kind of get maybe what you're looking for. It's totally up to you. All this is totally up to you guys. Let us know, right? I think that looks a bit much better. I don't know. Then we can have one last option here, and this could be, say, black. Right. So now that we have this, we can then preview once again, right? So if we preview here, we have this option, this option. I think I'm really, really loving this texture here. And then for the chair legs, should we go with this? Yeah, those look cute. I see myself getting this for like my grandma, you know. It does look cute. Just a cozy couch. But either ways, we can then publish this. And once we publish this and this is completely live, we can then head back to our project here and just refresh. And now you can see the options come to live in there. So you have your 3D model there when you load onto the page. And then you can just select different customization options for that model, right? And as well switch the legs here. And, okay, looking at it now, it does look a tad bit weird, I would say. But we can switch things, and then you can view it in your space as well. Right, so that is one way to set up your website to make it look way more engaging and interactive from the get go. Right. So let's head back to SwiftXR again and see if there are a few more things that we can add here to, spice up things. So another thing we can do is we can also add in um, hotspots, right? So hotspots allow you to add in a bit more detail to um, your 3D objects. So, say for example, you want to talk about you want to talk about where the texture for your chair was made. So, to give a bit more context to the product you're selling, right? So, one thing you can do here is you can add in a new hotspot label, and we can call this label did you we could do something like did you know. So, that's to spark the user's curiosity, right? So we don't want numbering here, we just want bullets. And then this should be default. This should be default. We want it to be default so we can see it here already, right? So we can see it here already. And or maybe we do on click, or we do like a display text here. Yeah, that makes much more sense. And let's do did you know? Right? So we'll do something like this. Did you know this material was made using the rarest um, textile on earth, and it is only only 4 units are available across the world. So you can have, really cheesy details like this within your hotspot itself, right? So what we want to do here is we can set a position for our hotspot. So we can say this is where we want to put in our hotspot, or set the position here. Right. So now that we have that, you can switch our interaction mode to on click. Right. So if we preview here, you just have this did you know, right? And you can just click on it and it shows, oh, the material was made using the rarest textile on earth, and only 4 units are available across the world. So that kind of sparks curiosity within your user as well, right? So these are some interesting tips and tricks that you can use on your platform to increase the user experience and the engagement from your users as well. Right. So if we then publish this once again and hit publish, once that is done, let's head back to our website again and then just hit refresh. And now that we have that refresh button, solid. So it says, did you know? So that sparks your curiosity already, saying, okay, what exactly don't I know? And then you just, click on that. And sometimes it might not be intuitive to use on click. So your users can be you have to test, right? You have to test and see what works. What we found is for education based experiences, on click works best because you have much more information, right? But for experiences like this, what you might want to explore is using on over, right? But once again, it still boils down to the type of users you have, right? And just try to see how they're reacting to things, right? So you can do, say, your A/B testing to see what works well for your product. So gather a couple of users and see what they like about the experience and what they don't like. Right. So moving on from that, if I just head back here, we could maybe switch this back to on over, and then we can just publish this. Let's wait for that. Now that that is done, we can just refresh this. And now when we over on this, you can see how it just brings up that detail for us. So that kind of makes it easier for people who don't know exactly what's going on. So you just say, did you know? And then you just go over here. And once they over on it, it just shows them, oh, this material was all that. All right, then. And then you can still make your custom changes easily and make changes here as well. Right? Okay, I think this one fits, to be fair. All right then. So that is how you can embed 3D content that can be viewed in AR or VR on your platform. And this is the same process you're going to follow for virtual reality as well, right? It's pretty much the same process. And if you have any questions, please feel free to join our Discord. The link is in the description as well, right? The links in the description. Please feel free to join in our Discord. Let us know if you have any questions. And if you have any questions, you can also email us at support@swiftxr.io. We would be happy to provide support to the best um, as we can. And yes, we're looking forward to what you build with SwiftXR and how you use it across the web. With that being said, we're slowly coming to the end of today's session. If there are any questions, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. If there are no questions, that's completely fine. We want to assume that you've understood what we've gone through for today's session, right? So please feel free to drop us a like, share in the comments what you're building. Let us know. Let us know. And moving on from there, we would be having another exciting workshop next month, in the month of June, right? And let's see how that goes. So, for those of you that are creators who are looking to experience and use the SwiftXR platform more, our creator program second cohort is currently running within it's currently running and applications are open. So if you've not checked it out before, go over to swiftxr.io/creators program, and there you can apply for the creators program, right? And here you don't have to worry about publishing costs or anything like that. We are here to make it easy for you to publish projects and explore and make use of the platform as well. So feel free to join in our creator program, go through the application process, and if you are one of the creators selected, you get into the program itself, which lasts for 6 weeks. So we're looking forward to seeing you in our program. And if there are any questions, once again, feel free to open our Discord or to drop us an email at support@swiftxr.io. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining us this month for another workshop. We will be back next month for another workshop again. Have a lovely rest of your weekend, everyone. And yeah, see you all next time, I guess. And yeah, bye, everyone.